Have you ever thought about a country where justice isn't just one single path, but a major fork in the road? A place where two totally different legal worlds exist right next to each other, often without even realizing it. Well, that place is real, and it's the Republic of Vanuatu. Today, we're going to dive into this absolutely fascinating and complex legal landscape, where ancient tradition and modern law are locked in this delicate and often really difficult dance.
Okay, so let's start with a number that just sets the scene perfectly. 113. Get this, that's how many distinct indigenous languages are spoken across Vanuatu's 83 islands. It gives it the highest density of languages per person of any nation on Earth. It's just an incredible mosaic of cultures.
And all that diversity, well, it naturally leads us to the big question for our explainer today. In a place with so many different voices, so many traditions, can a single one-size-fits-all approach to law and order actually work for everybody? This is the core challenge Vanuatu is grappling with every single day. So, to really get a handle on this challenge, we've got to understand the forces that are shaping the society there in Vanuatu. You see, it's a country built on a really unique and sometimes competing set of loyalties.
Life in Vanuatu is pretty much influenced by three major pillars, which you can see right here. You've got the formal modern government that was inherited from a kind of unique Anglo-French colonial past. Then there's the deeply ingrained traditional customs known as custom. And finally, the really powerful influence of the church. These three forces are constantly bumping up against each other, shaping everything from daily life to the very idea of what justice even is.
And that brings us right to the heart of it. The fact that there are two parallel justice systems. This whole idea where different legal setups coexist in the same place has a name. It's called legal pluralism. But in Vanuatu, it's not some academic theory. It's just daily life.
And this quote, it just nails the relationship perfectly. They aren't meshed together. They often just operate in their own little universes, like ships in the night. They pass each other by, each one a powerful force, but they rarely, if ever, merge into one single cohesive system.
This slide lays out the fundamental differences so clearly. On one hand, you have the state system, a leftover from English and French law. It's all about individual guilt and punishment. Its big strength is protecting an individual's rights. But then you have the customs system. It's built entirely on local tradition. Its main goal isn't to punish one person, but to restore harmony to the whole community. It's about restoration, not retribution. They're just worlds apart.
All right, so let's dig into that first system, the one that governs the daily lives of over 77% of the people, especially out in the rural areas. This is the world of custom.
So, what exactly is custom? It's so important to understand that it's not some dusty old rulebook. No way. It's a living, breathing system of social regulation. It adapts, it evolves, but its core purpose always stays the same. Keep the social harmony and reinforce what it means to be Ni Vanuatu.
The process itself looks nothing like a courtroom. So picture this. A dispute happens. The chiefs get together in the community meeting place, called the Nakamal. The whole community can get involved, talking it out. The goal is always reconciliation. And it often ends with a ceremonial apology and some form of compensation. Not with money, but with things that have huge cultural value, like pigs, special woven mats, or kava.
All right, so let's shift gears and look at that other ship in the night, the formal state system. This is a direct legacy of Vanuatu's very unique colonial history as a territory that was jointly run by the British and the French.
The state system has a structure that probably looks pretty familiar. You've got a court of appeal at the very top, then a Supreme Court and magistrates' courts. But what's really interesting here are the island courts. These were specifically designed to be a kind of bridge between the formal system and custom. They're often staffed by justices who also know a lot about local traditions. It's an attempt to blend the two worlds, though, with mixed results.
And here is the absolute kicker. This is the crucial point. While Vanuatu's own constitution does recognize custom as a source of law, it puts it on a lower rung. Customary law can be used, sure, but only, and this is a big only, if it doesn't contradict the Constitution or any written law passed by Parliament. At the end of the day, state law always gets the final word.
So you can probably guess what happens next, right? This is where the sparks fly. What happens when these two systems, with their completely different philosophies, slam into each other over a real-life case?
Let's look at a real-world example, the case of public prosecutor versus Coda. In this situation, a council of chiefs acting under custom made a ruling.
They ordered a woman who had left her husband to be forcibly taken back to his home island. Now, from their point of view, this was all about restoring order to the family and the community.
But the state's legal system saw it completely differently. The Supreme Court got involved, totally overturned the chief's decision, and actually convicted them of inciting kidnapping. The court's ruling was that the custom decision violated the woman's fundamental constitutional right to freedom of movement. I mean, this case just perfectly highlights that clash between the community's harmony and an individual's rights. And this tension isn't just academic. It has profound real-world consequences. For example, some really stark data shows that an estimated 98% of women and children who experience violence never access the formal justice system. Why? Well, often there's immense social pressure to handle these things through custom, which, remember, prioritizes community reconciliation over individual protection and punishment for the person who did wrong.
And this really brings us to the absolute core of the issue. It's not just about different rules. It's about a fundamental difference in the very definition, the very goal of justice itself.
This table just breaks down that deep philosophical divide so well. In custom, the goal is harmony. The chief is an authority figure, and communication is often indirect, using things like parables. Now contrast that with a Western model. There, the goal is a binding legal agreement. The mediator is a neutral go-between, and communication is direct and explicit. The worldviews are just polar opposites. One is holistic and spiritual, the other is secular and analytical.
And this, right here, is the single most important thing to take away from all this. For the vast majority of the people of Vanuatu, justice isn't done when a guilty person gets punished. No, justice is achieved when a broken relationship is repaired, when peace is restored, and when the social fabric of the entire community is mended.
So we're going to end right where we started, with a question that Vanuatu is grappling with every single day. And honestly, one that challenges our own assumptions about law. What is the true purpose of a justice system? Is it to assign blame and punish an individual, or is it to find a way to heal an entire community? In Vanuatu, the answer to that question is still being written.